Good morning, beloveds. I didn't realize I had that. Okay, there we go. I don't have to worry about weird light beams because it's a pretty day out there. It's a little humid, but it's pretty. So, interesting. I think I can read this without the reading glasses. Okay, that's interesting. I had eye surgery on Wednesday. I had a cataract removed from my left eye, this one, on back in July. And then I ended up with double vision because I went from basically legally blind, like seriously legally blind, to pretty decent vision. And I had this one done on Wednesday. And there was just a little bit of a cataract, but because of how blind I was, I qualified for the surgery. And so now I have distance vision. And I was extremely nearsighted. When I say legally blind, I was extremely nearsighted. Like, we're talking here. And he thinks that I could heal to being able to read. And I'm looking at this going, nope, I can read this. Pretty far away, but I can read this without the reading glasses. So, yeah. Up here I can't read it, but interesting. And, I'm literally 4 days out. The surgery happened around 9:30, I think. We were home by 11, and it was a 30-minute drive. Okay. Wow. It's amazing what they can do nowadays. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, the book's down in my lap, if you're wondering. Okay, so it is September 17th. Oh, and I did go to the park today. We just did one loop. We didn't want to stress it out. So now will be the test on whether or not I can still take good pictures, which I think I can. Because I'm zooming them in. And so that made them pretty easy to focus. I just have to remember to wear sunglasses everywhere. I need a new pair of sunglasses, or 2 or 3. So yeah, interesting. We'll see. I'm going to go back to work on Tuesday, so we'll see what that's like. Okay. No, you know what? I can read it, but I'm just going to go ahead and wear the reading glasses. Okay. It is September 17th. Our title is I Am Creative. Our first quote is, I had planted thee a noble vine, wholly a right seed. And that is Jeremiah 2:21. The second quote is, we all use the creative power of the universal mind every time we use our own mind. And that is Science of Mind, page 30. As students of truth, we often hear the statement made that we are creative beings and that the power of the universe is at our disposal. We are told that we are infinitely talented, truly repositories of all the wisdom of the ages. While this makes sense intellectually, we may legitimately wonder where all this talent, creativity have gone. Why aren't we more satisfied, more fulfilled? For each of us, the answers to these questions will vary. For instance, I believe that many of us are not sufficiently convinced that a godly power inspires and energizes us. I also believe that a number of us are not willing to cultivate the talents we possess. If it doesn't come easily to us, we consider it too much trouble to pursue. We are creative beings, at one with the river of creation. Every excellence we bring to life helps move it forward all that more wonderfully. In true self-appreciation, let us cultivate the creative life. Infinite mind inspires me. Infinite power expresses through me. Infinite life heals me and presents me as a true spiritual being. I appreciate my creative sense and consistently upgrade my excellence. I practice what I know, delight in my successes, learn from my failures, and glorify life within me with my special touches. No day passes without the impact of my creative stamp upon it. To me, this is wonderful. And that's MS. That's Margaret Stortz. Stortz. I keep wanting to put an L in her name, and there isn't an L in her name. There was one line If it doesn't come easily to us, then we don't want to put in the work. And I think that's what it is. We have all of the wisdom of the ages, right? And the interesting thing is quite literally, we have the wisdom of the ages, because between our connection to the source of our own being and these amazing little devices that we use, we can look up anything, there are probably at this point very few skills that aren't available on YouTube. You want to learn to do anything. I've got a friend who watches painting tutorials on YouTube, and she's learned a lot, and she's doing it because she enjoys it, and she's getting pretty good. But and I'm one of those. I went through the gifted and talented program. My mother fought to get us tested, and then that happened. And so I am one of those people that there are a lot of things that come easily to me, or at least I make them look easy. And it's very frustrating for the people around me. And I understand this because I've had these discussions, that how easily I make things look. And sometimes you just have an affinity and it comes easily to you, and there you are. And sometimes you make things look easy because you've practiced them. One of my favorite discussions, so to pay my mortgage, I work in a health food store. And I was training one of the girls, and she was a teenager, and she looks at me, and I don't know how long at this point I'd known her, but I'm sure it was over a year. She looks at me and she says, "I know why you're so smart." She said, "You repeat this stuff 2 or 3 times, with, 2, 3, 4, how many employees do we have? You're repeating this stuff this many times." Of course, yes. Repetition. And that's one of the reasons why I never appreciated practice makes perfect. Okay. Until I learned a new definition of perfect, which means whole, not flawless, but whole. But practice makes permanent. Okay. And so, and they do truly, if you want to learn something, teach it, because that's what I was doing. And so, yes, I had a very good grasp on the material because I was teaching every employee in the store, which meant, depending on, I might repeat it 2 or 3 times a day, depending on where everybody was in the training. So that's it. You have to be willing to put in the work. Jesse will talk about this, where he talks about building up the calluses, as a musician. And I get that. There's a piece of music that probably, if you put an instrument in front of me, I could probably still play that. Do I have the lung capacity for it anymore? No. But that one particular piece of music is just ingrained in there because we played it so much. Like, to this day, if the song comes on the radio, I'll turn the radio off because I just can't. And so that's what it is. If you want to be creative, then you have to use those talents, whether you're good at it or not. And then the more you practice, the better you'll be. Now, there are some things, like I'm never going to be, drawing is not my forte. I joke that I can't even draw a straight line with a ruler, which is not true. I can. If I set the ruler So, because I took a couple of drafting classes, so I can draw a straight line, but it's just, but it's not something I enjoy. And that's one of the things, like, if it's something you enjoy, even if you're bad at it, do it. And one of 2 things will happen. You will either enjoy it and have a good time and not care what it looks like or sounds like, or you'll get better. And I'm going to lean into the you'll get better. Will you ever be, world class? Maybe. But that's not the reason for doing it. The reason for doing it is to enjoy it. And that's the really cool thing, is when we use our gifts, when we use our talents, that's us giving, the ability to do these gifts and talents. That's God's gift to us. are actually using them. That's our gift back to God. And so, and we can be creative in a wide variety of mediums. And it took me a long time to accept the word artist, to accept the title of artist, because I'm like, well, I can't draw. So obviously I'm not an artist. But there's lots of different mediums. I take really good photographs. And so that's an art, you know? And so it's the same thing with prosperity. It's like we can get very narrow definitions of what art is. If we expand our definition, a whole lot of us fall into it. It's called arts and crafts for a reason, because crafts are art, you know? So whatever it is that you do is an art. And frankly, let's be honest, living is an art. I like to joke that cooking is an art, baking is a science, and cooking is an art, because I'm not good at cooking. I'm not good at. If you give me a recipe, I can follow a recipe. I'm good at recipes because that's science, which is why I'm a good baker. But just cooking? No. My husband, on the other hand, he's good. He doesn't follow recipes, which I find extraordinarily frustrating. But that's one of his gifts and talents. So, that's the thing about being creative. All right, let's see if I've covered everything. Okay. Nope. It's one of those things of, yeah, there for a minute I could, and now I'm just like, I'm not going to stress myself out trying to do this. Okay. So, as students of truth, we often hear the statement made that we are creative beings. The power of the universe is at our disposal. We are told that we are infinitely talented, truly repositories of all of the wisdom of the ages. And while this makes sense intellectually, that's where we kind of all go, well, intellectually it makes sense, but do we feel it? Okay. And that's where she goes into next. Do we feel it? We may legitimately wonder where all this talent and creativity have gone. Why aren't we more satisfied and more fulfilled? For each of us, the answers to these questions will vary. And that's true. Every one of us is different. So every one of us is going to have a different response to it. Because some of us are more willing to trust, more willing to plug in. And that right there is the point of spiritual practice. If we plug in regularly, then we are more willing to trust. Oh my God, these things are filthy already. For instance, I believe that many of us are not sufficiently convinced that a godly power inspires us and energizes us. I also believe that a number of us are not willing to cultivate the talents that we possess. And that is what I was talking about today. We've got to be willing to be bad at. We've got to be willing to fail at. Because that's an old quote that I absolutely love. A master has failed more times than an apprentice has ever attempted. Okay? We've got to be willing to make mistakes and learn from them. I mean, is it truly a mistake if you learn something? And so that's it. We've got to be willing to try. The gifts that we have are gifts from God. What we do with them, that's our gift back to God. So, I would say, I know the title is I'm Creative, and I would say the mission today, should we choose to accept it, is exactly that. To expand the definition of artist, to expand the definition of talent, to expand the definition of gift. But it's also to be willing to try and to fail and to try again. Because that's the super important thing, is the willing to try again after we failed. That's the mission. That is the mission. All right. And I think it's an amazing one. So, the other one is the same one I give you every day: to do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself. I was nervous to go to the park and to try and take those pictures. The most loving, kind, and compassionate thing I could do for myself was to go to the park and take those and and to take those pictures. We didn't push ourselves. He was absolutely not going to let me push myself. We did one loop. That's it. And there were times that I just looked at the light and went, yep, there's no way. I can't even. So I didn't even try and take the picture, but I did try and take those pictures. And and I'm pretty sure that some of them are good. So, which is a weight off my mind, a weight off my mind, but I have a month to 6 weeks to see how this eye heals, and then to see if this eye will pull this one. Because I straight up told him, I said, my left eye's lazy. My left eye is lazy. Because my right eye's done all the work. So we'll see. But what I got to do is not stress it too much. So, loving, kind, compassionate. What does that look like to you? Today, it might be to find out if you can still do something that you thought you could do. It might look like picking back an old skill. It might be learning a new skill. It might be willing to be bad at something for a little while until you get good. Because if you're bad at it now, the only way you're going to get better is to keep trying. But it also looks like taking a nap, which I will do today when my eyes get tired. Taking a walk, which we did. It can also be taking a deep breath before you speak. Especially if you're having a heated conversation. That is the most loving, kind, and compassionate thing you can do for everybody involved, is to take a deep breath and consider what you're about to say. So, all right, beloveds. Practice on yourself. You deserve your own love. You deserve your own kindness. You deserve your own compassion. And the more you practice on yourself, the more you will have built up, so that no matter what happens, you are creating that habit, that default setting, that first response. And you are creating a bank so that you have plenty to share when you meet people that need a little extra, especially when they're learning something new. All right. Okay, beloveds. I'm going to encourage you to do something to engage your mind and your body. I'm going to encourage you to drink plenty of water. I definitely need some more water. I'm going to encourage you to get some bright light in your early in your day. Yes, I have to wear sunglasses, but hey, the park, I don't even remember any clouds in the sky. It was a pretty day in the park today. It was a little humid, but bright light early in the day. Reset those circadian rhythms. You will sleep better at night, and you will have more energy during the day. I know that the first night after the day, Wednesday into Thursday, I didn't sleep really well from the surgery, but the last couple of nights I've gotten decent night's sleeps. So, yay, get out there and go do. And okay. And I think that's it. Oh, open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you, you do live in heaven right here, right now. It is all around you all the time. And whatever else I was about to say. The superpower. Okay. Connect with the source of your own being. Regular spiritual practice. Go into that space where it is literally heaven, because you are connected to the source of your own being. As I like to say, unkink that hose. And then you bring that feeling back with you, and it creates heaven around you, because you are the channel for that power. You are the channel for that creativity. You are the channel for that joy. Happiness is an inside out job. All right. Here's where I remind you about the social medias. We are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark on the social medias we are on. I am the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. If you want to know what the center is up to, the book studies, we have a soul session coming up this Wednesday, so that'll be fun. That will, all of that will be in the email. So email info@creativelife.org. That is the constant contact email. The hot links are hot, so you're good to go there. They'll take you right where you want to go. And yeah, I think that's what I need to know. So I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, an amazing day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a catter day. Or if you don't have cats, whatever four-legged with fur you have, or Children's Day, spend some time with someone that you love, even if they are four-leggeds with fur. But whatever you do, take care of yourself. So have a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day, because you are enough just as you are. All right? You're a beloved child of God. You're a beloved child of God, in whom God is well pleased and well represented. It's a state of grace. Okay? It can't be earned. It doesn't have to be earned. It is granted. And the cool thing about that is that means that nobody can take it away either. All right? That's between you and the source of your own being. Your spirit. God. Atman. Whatever word you want to use. I like the source of your own being. I know it sounds kind of clinical, but yeah. Because we all come from the same source. So, have that day. Whatever kind of day it looks like. I'm going to have a catter day. You can do some snuggling with my four-leggeds with fur nurses who have taken good care of me. All right. I think I'm hungry. Yay. All right. I don't know what Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I'll be back with you at 9 a.m. and then we will have an amazing service for you tomorrow. So that'll be fun to see what it looks like with my 2 new eyes. But it'll be good, and I'll get that. I'm going to go get that title. I should read my email. Okay. And I've drifted off into hello. Know that you're loved. I will see you next time. Have a great day.